Chris Stokel-Walker speaking to us from Newcastle in the UK. Hi there, Chris. Why has Elon Musk decided to change the name of Twitter, and why now?
I think probably the why now is that it's an attempt to try and gain headlines and attention back from Threads, which is developed by Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, and has long been seen as a Twitter killer because of the fact that Meta is so powerful. So that answers the why now. In terms of the why more generally, I think it's because we're 9 months into Elon Musk's ownership of Twitter. He bought it obviously back in October for $44 billion. He wanted to put his own stamp on things, to kind of develop his own way of existing for Twitter and design it to do a little bit more than it did previously. All of those things that you mentioned, Linda Yaccarino tweeting about earlier. And so this was a really useful time, I think, to make a break from the old ways of work and to develop this new app, which I guess we now have to call X rather than Twitter.
Do you think this rebranding could work, given that Musk and, as Linda Yaccarino has been saying, they're trying to change Twitter or X now into something that's more about tweeting thoughts and opinions, but what he's described as a super app?
I think that it's very, very difficult to make these things happen. We can look to prior precedent. So Meta obviously rebranded from Facebook as the parent company, although people still call it Facebook essentially. Google back in 2015 rebranded their parent company from Google to Alphabet, but I don't know many people who call it Alphabet officially. I think that really people will still continue to call this Twitter, not least because X is a pretty vague term. It's difficult to say. You don't really know what you're talking about when you're posting content on Twitter/X anymore. Do we call them tweets or do we call them X's? Do we call them something else? It's not really clear on that. And you have to remember, this is a platform, a site that has been around for 17 years. And for all that Elon Musk has tarnished its reputation in the last 9 months, there is still a lot of brand equity and a lot of love for how Twitter operated. So I think it's very, very difficult to retrain people to do that. And ultimately, when you have a user base of hundreds of millions of people, they're going to call it what they want. And I think probably they don't want it to be X.
We'll certainly have to see how people take this on board. Chris Stokel-Walker, live to us there from Newcastle. Thanks, Chris.